Hey there, my name is Martin G. Moore, and I'm the Wall Street Journal Bestselling author of the book No Bullshit Leadership. My chart-topping podcast of the same name has been downloaded over 2 million times in more than 100 countries. But before that, I had a 30-plus year career as a corporate executive in Australia, which culminated in my role as CEO of a multi-billion-dollar energy business. Now back then, people wouldn't have dreamed of doing anything virtually. Everything had to be done face-to-face. I even recall one situation only 5 short years ago, where I flew from Brisbane to London, 30 hours in each direction and a couple of days on the ground for a single meeting. Would I do that again today? Well, absolutely not. We've proven in the last few years that virtual communication is a perfectly acceptable substitute for being there in person. Now, clearly it's not the same, but if it's done right, it can be incredibly effective and have a huge impact on everyone involved. My purpose is to improve the quality of leaders globally. So we built this business to be global and scalable. That means that everything we produce is designed for the virtual world. By the time COVID rolled around, I'd already delivered hundreds of hours of virtual keynotes and webinars for leaders all over the world. Now that I'm based in the USA, I've built a studio that takes virtual presentations to the next level. Let's take a quick tour. Now, we've built this studio using state-of-the-art video, audio, and comms equipment. So what you get is a seamless, high-quality experience every single time. The first thing you'll notice is the image quality. And when I'm talking directly to camera like this, you can actually see every hard-earned line on my forehead. But I can also slip into slide mode. Now, as you'll see, we don't do death by PowerPoint. We just use highly impactful images that evoke an emotional response in the audience. I love to shift people's perspective on leadership. A good example of this is the way I dispel a number of well-worn leadership myths and cliches, because let's face it, leadership is hard. And some of the images convey pretty graphically just how hard leadership can actually be. We can also easily integrate multimedia content. So I can drop video footage in at the press of a button. Once again, it's just another way to make sure that when you're part of a virtual audience, you're engaged and you're entertained. The software we use in the studio integrates seamlessly with any video conferencing package, whether it's Zoom or Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, doesn't matter. It sits behind the scenes and does its work. We can also do highly interactive Q&As. Take a look at this.
So Marty, they say that empowering is all about hiring great people and then getting out of their way. Is that true?
Well, it's a good start. I would like to say it's necessary, but it's not sufficient. Empowerment has to be a very active process of giving clear objectives, providing appropriate resourcing, setting challenging but achievable goals. So empowerment is very active. For most of my virtual keynotes, the attendees receive a workbook. This gives people the ability to follow through and engage via yet another medium. And it gives them something to take away to help consolidate the key insights. This makes the whole experience even more concrete and even more practical. Now let's face it, a lot of leadership speakers focus on 2 things only: motivation and inspiration. And sure, those are a critical element of any keynote, but for me, it's much more important to change perspectives, to completely shift the way leaders think about what leadership is and the role that they play in the performance and growth of their teams. I'm Martin G. Moore, and I cannot wait to work with you.